Okay, so, man, it's been like 3 months. And I walk up this side. Okay, so it's been like, okay, hold on. Let's let this thing. I'm using the auto or aperture shutter. I don't know, whatever I'm using like the auto. I never use auto, but I'm trying to get back in the swing of things. But let's lock the, yeah, we're gonna lock the white balance. But listen, okay, it's been 3 months. It's been crazy. A lot of things have happened. We almost left California. We added a new vehicle to the. I'm not gonna say fleet, but to the house. Got rid of a car, bought another car. I wish it was a motorcycle, but I didn't end up buying a new motorcycle. Matter of fact, I'll show you. Motorcycle's still here, the 2020 Lowrider S. But guess what? We ended up buying a Tesla. Okay, so it's not here, obviously, because the wife drives it. I still drive our Jeep because, you know, I'm local. Thing is, she doesn't work local anymore, so it made a lot of sense to buy a Tesla instead of a new motorcycle. The plan was to buy a new motorcycle this year, but financially it just made more sense. But we'll get into it. What I want to do today is get back on the motorcycle. This is my first time, probably in, what, 4 or 5 months that I'm gonna be able to ride during the day before anyone comes back home. Matter of fact, this is the first time in 5 or 6 months that I've had time to myself during the week. We all know what's been going on, but we're gonna jump on the motorcycle, talk about why we ended up buying a Tesla versus buying a motorcycle. And we're gonna go down to Sebastopol and just grab a cup of coffee. Maybe we'll talk it all out before we get there. I don't know, we're figuring this whole thing out today.
It just means that you're special. You're one of a kind.
All right. Okay, so before we get this actual little... Okay, so before we get the whole story started, I do want to give you some context, some history on why it made sense to buy the Tesla. So you gotta kind of bear with me just a little bit. I say make it through about half of the video, then you can turn it off or whatever. So first off, okay, how it all started. So we had no desire on buying a Tesla, but the cool thing is the house that we're in right now came with EV charging, right? So it was, now the plug wasn't there. There was no EV charging station inside, but the outlet was there. So if you don't know, in California, I think as of 2019, any house built after 2019 has to have EV charging wired, connected, everything. The breaker has to be there, everything. So, okay, obviously this house has it. So we thought it was cool when we moved in. We didn't think anything of it. Wife was working local, so it didn't make sense to buy a Tesla at the time. I mean, we thought about it and kidded around. We would kid around about buying a Tesla, but we were never serious. Okay, well, long story short, when it comes to her job and all that craziness, I'll let her tell that story. We have a podcast, but we'll get into that another time. Long story short, she decides to not work there. So we went 2 months without a paycheck. We went 2 months without a paycheck while she was searching for a job. And we were damn near set on not staying in California. It was crazy because we got a job offer. Well, she got a job offer in Texas. I mean, like a legitimate, it's your job. Sign the, just sign the paperwork and it's yours. Or sign the offer letter. So we were still like on the fence about leaving California. So it was like in between California and Texas and our home state of North Carolina. We really did want to move back to North Carolina, but I just say the job process and the job, you know, how they operate, it's just a little bit slower than everywhere else. So like she was getting interviews and getting offers, you know, in every different area except for North Carolina, because their interview process is like just so different. It's slower, all right? You know, and the thing is, it's slow, but the process is the same. There's 2 or 3 interviews. You have to meet with CEOs, CMOs, and all this other stuff. Like a whole slew of people we're interviewing with. But anyways, North Carolina was out because basically, you know, they were just too damn slow. Anyways, okay, so between California and Texas, Texas gave her an offer first, but we were hesitant because, well, we weren't leaving California because we wanted to leave. We were leaving because, you know, she decided where she was currently working just wasn't going to work. And so, I don't know. We had the offer. She turned down the offer in hopes of where she used to work, which is in San Francisco, would make her an offer because she did apply. She felt good about it. You know, we didn't know if she was going to get that job or not, so we kind of just was like taking a chance in a sense. So long story short, she ended up getting the job in San Francisco. So if you don't know, we had a Volkswagen GTI, 2012 Volkswagen GTI that I just sold that actually. I didn't trade it in for the Tesla. And we also had a, Jeep Grand Cherokee, the Overland. I still have that car. I have the Jeep Grand Cherokee Overland. That's what she was driving back and forth to San Francisco for at least a couple of weeks. But before she did get the job offer in San Francisco, we were doing the math. And I know you're probably like, well, see, here's the other thing. All my cars have been paid off. We just paid off the Jeep. And you're probably thinking, well, why didn't you just keep the Jeep and let her drive that? Well, oh my God, like I got to looking at how much it was going to cost to drive that thing. It was like 360 bucks just in gas each month. And I'm like, wow, that doesn't even make sense. On top of, I think it's like $120, $130 for toll, on top of $300 just to park at the parking garage at her job. So it was starting to add up very, very quick on how much it was going to cost us just to drive that Jeep. And just so you know, the GTI, the Volkswagen GTI that I did own, it was a manual transmission. She can drive it. She's great at driving it. But she did not feel comfortable driving it in the city on those very large hills. And I'll be honest, I'm terrified of doing that on those hills too. I don't want to burn up my clutch. So anyways, plus the you know, all my car, well, that Volkswagen had 95,000 miles. It has been relatively maintenance free except for oil. You know, we had a water pump go out twice and stuff like that until they had that recall. But I just got to thinking about, like, okay, it's costing me 360 bucks just to drive the Jeep, and that's before gas prices went up. That's gas alone. Now, 2 things I can't get rid of is the toll, and I can't get rid of the $300 parking pass that she has to buy. But what I can do, I know for sure, I can eliminate the 360 bucks. So that's what prompted me into looking at electric vehicles. I'm like, well, damn, I can save money if I'm buying an electric vehicle. Yes, there's an upfront cost, but just like all my cars I keep for 7-8 years, if I keep this car for over 8 to 9 years, you know, or at least some type of electric vehicle, it's going to pay for itself. Well, typically this one, because we put a crap ton of money down. And so, like, we had this whole goal this year, and I'll get into that a little bit later, or into another video. I don't know what I'll do. I'm all over the place right now. But again, bear with me. I'm going to give you some context. But anyway, I got to looking at how much it was going to cost to operate that damn Jeep. It was just too much. You know, that 360, which is gas only, that did not include maintenance on the damn car. All right? Like, the only thing that's basically free is tire rotations, because we bought those tires a couple of years ago at Discount Tires, and what's great about them, they do free rotations, balance and rotation. But anyways, yes, woo, she's going to be driving 138 miles. She drives 138 miles a day, in a single day. So it just wasn't making sense. And she did it for almost a month before the Tesla came. And we truly got to see how much it was costing us. And it was a lot. It was over 360 bucks, because guess what? Gas prices increased. I know it went crazy over in the East Coast because of that hacking situation with the pipeline and stuff, but I mean, California was always expensive. It's even more expensive now. It makes sense for me to drive the Jeep Monday through Friday in the city because I'm going maybe less than 20 miles a day, taking my daughter back and forth to school, and that's about it. So, and that's why I'm saying it didn't make sense originally when she was working locally, because she was literally driving less than 4,000 miles a year on my Volkswagen. Like, it was to the point where the oil, we would change the oil because it was over a year old, not because we was anywhere close to the mileage that was required to change, but she just wasn't driving that much. But now she's driving 138 miles. And I'm telling you, man, a lot of people are like, oh, well, you could have invested that money into the stock market and seen a return. Well, I'm seeing an instant return each month of at least, I'm not going to say $360, not $400. If she was driving right now, it would definitely be $400 a month in gas. But I would say, because our electricity went up about $50. So it's costing us about $50 a month just to fill up the Tesla, or, you know, fill up the battery in the Tesla, which to me is not bad. It's way better than $370, $400 a month. I'm able to get her back and forth to work in a brand new car that I don't have to worry about, that has a warranty. And that's the thing, all my other two cars, my Jeep does not have a warranty because it has 100,000 miles on it. My Volkswagen GTI ran out of the warranty after 7 years. It doesn't have 100,000 miles on it, but it doesn't have a warranty because it's over 7 years old. It was a 2012. So I was starting to worry, like, yes, it's just a matter of time before that car kind of craps out and she's stuck on the side of the road and she's pregnant. She's due in August. I'm like, yeah, this is not going to work. We have to find something like now, like right now. So that's what we did. We decided to go with Tesla, and yeah, we did it at the perfect time because, yeah, we had to wait a little bit, like 2 months to get the car, but we got it before the baby's born and all that stuff. And I couldn't be any more happier with the car. Yes, it has panel gaps, that's true. Like in the back, it's very noticeable around the trunk, but everywhere else looks pretty good. Everywhere else I can say with certainty that it's perfect everywhere except the trunk of the car, which it was not that big of a deal for me to be like, oh yeah, I need you to adjust it. It wasn't that big. It's noticeable if you're looking for it, but like, it wasn't that big of a adjustment that needs to be made. So I was like, you know what, I'm not even gonna bother like harassing them over this. So I can attest that, hey, the build quality is getting a little bit better in the Tesla. But anyways, okay, so how much did we put down on the Tesla? Now, before I start that, I'll just say this: the whole point of us staying in California was, by the time we ended living in California, was to be debt-free. Was to be completely debt-free. And we're super close to being debt-free. We just have like maybe 2 things to pay off, which aren't that, well, one of them is a student loan for my wife. Okay, so one of them is a student loan for my wife. And, well, one of them was the Jeep that we paid off instantly. So we would have paid flat out for the car. And that was the plan originally, because we didn't want another car payment. But what we decided to do was pay off the Jeep. We owed about $14,000 on that Jeep. We decided, you know what, let's just pay the whole $14,000 right now. We had already owned the Volkswagen for several years. We had already paid that off several years ago. The only thing left when it comes to automotive stuff was the Jeep and my motorcycle. My motorcycle is not that bad. It's really not bad that each month. But that damn Jeep was costing us about $700 a month, which, you know, it was easy. We could do it, but again, it just made sense. We wanted to be debt free, and we're super close now. Like motorcycle, I'm still paying for that, and then the Tesla. So when it comes to the Tesla, we did not want to pay more than $200 a month. So you know what that means, right? You have to have a really good credit score, and you got to put a decent amount of money down to be able to have a car payment that's less than $200 a month. So, are you ready? We put down $43,975, I think, on the car. So basically, we're only financing $10,000 on the car, and again, only because we decided to pay off the Jeep. And you know, we pay $159 a month for the Tesla. And again, we just decided to do that because we wanted to be able to take that $700 a month off our plate when it comes to that Jeep. So we own the Jeep outright. The only thing that we owe right now is $10,000 on that Tesla, and obviously this motorcycle here. I think I owe about $15,000, which to me is not bad. And okay, sorry. But you know, we're debating like next year, by the end of this year, okay, are we gonna just flat out pay for the Tesla, or are we going to just pay off the motorcycle? Because again, I want another motorcycle. I'm still going to get my Street Glide Special. It's just a matter of when, right? So yeah, we're going back and forth. Okay, we can easily just pay off the Tesla in a couple of months, or do we want to wait a couple of more months and just pay off the motorcycle and just have a $159 car payment each month? Like for this motorcycle, I'm paying like $300 a month, which again, it's to me it's not that high, but it's right there at the borderline of being like, yeah, it's pretty high, but it's not that high. Like it's in that middle ground for me. So yeah, that's where we are right now, man. The goal for us is to be debt free in a couple of years. We're not sure if we want to buy a house in California. I mean, I can get into that into a whole nother video, because I can just tell you, I just have bad feelings about California's housing market. I just feel like it's so inflated. And look, I'm not an expert. I have no clue about real estate as far as, you know, how much the market should go for, but I do know some of these houses should not be going for $700,000, $800,000. You know, 3-bedroom, 2-bath with less than 1,200 square feet. So it's like I'm just up in the air about buying a house here. So that's what, you know, that was like our, I guess, thing. If we were going to stay in California, we're not going to focus on buying a house. We're going to focus on just being debt free. And we're super close. We're very, very, very close. Again, it's I don't know, I guess I'm going to count the Tesla, but it's this motorcycle and her student loans. And I have a small amount of credit card debt, not much, which will be paid off in a couple of months. But man, that's it. That's why we stayed in California. That's why I bought a Tesla. It just made financial sense. It's to me it's better that we bought the Tesla than trying my hand at the stock market, because I can instantly get money back each month. I get money back each month because I'm not, my wife is not driving that Jeep. $370, you know, $400 a month. I'm seeing, probably, if I take into consideration about how much my electricity went up, I'm probably, you know, we're probably saving about a little over, just a smidge over $300 a month, just by driving the Tesla. Again, she's driving well over 100 miles each day, like 138 miles, 140 miles a day. So we're seeing instant savings. If you're thinking about buying a Tesla, I say if you have a decent commute, I say go for it, man. You can't go wrong. Make sure you can afford it financially, but we're saving so much money. We don't go, she doesn't go to the gas station. Now, I go to the gas station maybe once a month, if that. Because again, I drive 20 miles in a one day, maybe. So yeah, I go to the gas station maybe once a month. Sometimes not even, maybe a couple of months if I fill it up, because that Jeep can get like 440 miles to a tank. It's a 22-gallon tank. So man, I mean, I don't know, man. We're enjoying it. We're happy that we're still in California, and we're just gonna take the time and enjoy life and be thankful for what we have. And I say do the same. I'll check you guys in the next video. I'm back. I'm hoping to be more consistent with videos, but until then, I'll check you out later.